Hello there guys, it's Stephen here, back with another video, and it's very, very close to Manchester City finally returning after what feels about 400 years. But before we do that, we still got a big healthy dollop of transfer nonsense coming your way. Yep, you will absolutely love it, in the way that you should love OneFootball. If you don't already love OneFootball, go and download it right now, the link in the description. What are you waiting for? Yep, if you're excited as I am about all the potential transfer news, well, there's one app that you need on your phone. OneFootball is available right now for free, absolutely £0, and it's where you can keep up to date with all the Manchester City news, all the transfer gossip, and all the news around Erling Haaland, and it's been absolutely popping off today. So make sure you go and download it right now so you don't miss out on any news, and it's sent straight to your phone. And it also helps support my channel, which is a nice little bonus as well. So if you want to help support Stephen right here, go and download it right now in the link in the description. You won't regret it, I promise you. Right, let's get into all of today's transfer nonsense, and there's been loads going on, genuinely absolutely loads, and it's because of two particular people, Mr. Mino Raiola and Alf-Inge Haaland, ex-Manchester City player, of course the father of Erling Haaland, a player that absolutely everyone wants. And the reason it's been so noisy today in the Twitter sphere is because those two have been spotted in Barcelona, and then they've moved on to Madrid as well. Yep, unsurprisingly, more clubs than Manchester City want one of the brightest young talents in world football. Who would have thought it wouldn't be absolutely plain sailing to sign a player this good? Now, I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all, because this is, to quote Mancini, is normal. It's absolutely normal that a player of Haaland's stature would be fought over to this extent. Now, loads of reports have come out today, mainly from Fabrizio Romano. I'll try and get you through all those reports. Now, apparently, the plan regarding Haaland is so clear, according to Romano. He said that Raiola will start talking with the 5 top clubs that are interested, see their proposals and their projects, and then decide for the future what the Haaland's future could be. Now, apparently, Raiola has been talking to Dortmund as well about a potential price to sell Haaland this summer and trying to sound out potential fees. There's been some conflicting reports. Some people saying that Dortmund will never sell Haaland this summer, while others go, but they probably would sell him as long as it's not less than 150 million euros, which suggests to me that everyone pretty much knows their place right now. Now, one interesting report from Romano said that City and Real Madrid are the two most interesting options for Haaland, and this seems reasonable to me. City because of Pep Guardiola and the personal connection and the general footballing project, and obviously he's a City fan and all that kind of stuff. And Madrid, well, just because Madrid are basically Real Madrid, and it's very hard to turn down that white shirt for any footballer. Because Real Madrid are genuinely a very big deal, as we all know. But in my basically take on all this is that Raiola meeting Barcelona, Raiola meeting Real Madrid on the same day. He's ticking boxes, basically. He's doing his job. Likewise, Haaland as the father and representative. They're doing their jobs as representatives of Erling Haaland to see what the deals is on the table. They have to go around, they have to speak to all these clubs, they have to see all the proposals, and they have to work out which could be the best move for their client. Now, make no mistake about it, and I personally heard this as well. I'm not claiming to be in the know here or anything like that, but I've heard this, and I don't think it's particularly surprising given what's been online. But City have already spoken to Haaland's camp as well. It's very much, they're completing the round, so to speak. Maybe they won't do it in person, but then you've got to bear in mind we are in the middle of a pandemic here, and if you fly over to England, you've got to isolate for 2 weeks. You literally have to kind of quarantine away, so that's not going to happen. So most likely is what's happened if they spoke on the phone or they spoke in person a long time ago or whatever. I don't know when they spoke, but they definitely have spoken at some point. So City are just one of many clubs essentially circling Haaland's camp, and Haaland's camp are going to go and speak to all these clubs, so it's not really a big deal or a particular surprise that Madrid and Barcelona are speaking to a player of Haaland's stature. Now, obviously, it's you would like a clear run at a player of this quality, but it isn't going to happen. It isn't going to happen. It's unrealistic to expect that, but that doesn't mean all of a sudden that we're out of the race or anything like that. Nope, we've still got an incredibly good chance to sign him. Now, I've said a billion times, I'm cynical. I've been burned so many times by watching Manchester City that I even now presume the worst will happen, and I'm like, we won't get Haaland, it sounds too good to be true. But that doesn't mean I'm right. That's just my inherent cynicism kicking in. But one thing I do know is that it's very possible. Even though the cynical nature of me kicks in, it still doesn't think I'm right, and I don't believe I'm right. I just think that's where my head goes to, and I do believe Manchester City have a very good chance. I do believe Manchester City can afford it as well for what it's worth, and I do believe he is our prime target, and we've got a very, very strong chance personally. Now, personally, finally, I do think we can afford the 150 million euros as well, if that was the price. It sounds an awful lot, but when you put it into pounds, it's 127 million quid, which is an awful lot of money once again. But you've also got to bear in mind that there's the potential of them not qualifying for the Champions League, or also the potential of them losing him next year for an awful lot less than that, around 75 million euros, because he's release a fee clause. You've also got to add into the equation the fact that we do have that Sancho sell-on clause of 15% to play on. Say Sancho went for 100 million, which it might not reach that in the end, but if he did, that's still 15 million pounds that we would get from that, which we then have to play with in terms of the fee potentially for Haaland. So we could turn around and go to him, just write that clause off, and that's maybe another 10 million, at least 10 million potentially off that. And all of a sudden, you're looking at around 115, 120 million, maybe 110 at a push. And it doesn't seem that unrealistic, does it? I don't for one second think that Manchester City are going into this Haaland transfer going, oh, well, we won't pay over 70 million because we never do. And if you genuinely think that this is an un-Manchester City thing to do, then we won't pay above 70 million for a player because we haven't done it before, then you're not really reading the room right. We've lost someone like Sergio Aguero, and we do appreciate, and we're maybe underestimating City's realisation that if you want to sign a player like Haaland, you got to spend the money. There's no way Man City are talking to Haaland and only expecting to pay 70 million. They know that this guy is going to cost the big bucks, but they know why he's going to cost the big bucks. He's a potential genuine superstar of the game if he isn't already. And you don't sign a player like Haaland and expect him to be cheap. You have to go the hard yards, and I think City are prepared to pay big money for him. Either way, I don't know how it's going to go out. I think Haaland, I think he's more tempted by Madrid and Man City. I think Barcelona have financial difficulties that they've got to solve before they can get anywhere near him. I would not be surprised personally if this is Laporta, who's coming in, of course, as the president, doing his PR thing, if he's playing the game, because I can't really see how they can free up the funds to buy him personally. I don't really see Bayern going for him. I think they've ruled out that because I don't think they can afford him either. PSG, I can't really see enticing him as a football project personally, with all due respect to any PSG or League One fans there. I think he wants to go to the Premier League or La Liga personally. And I think it is City versus Madrid. Madrid have that appeal, but Manchester City also have an incredible football project. Either way, we're going to have to just be patient, guys, unfortunately, and just see how this unfolds. Don't give up just yet. I think City are in a very good position. I'm cynical, but I still think it's possible, which says it all, really, I guess. Despite me being cynical, I think it makes an awful lot of sense. We're going to have to see. This is going to run on for months and months and months. So I would just take everything right now with a pinch of salt and just see what happens. Next on the transfer target, I want to talk a little bit about Nuno Mendes. Now, according to various sources over in Portugal, Sporting expect his price to absolutely rocket now he's got his breakthrough in the Portuguese national team. We really do want this guy, apparently. I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently... We really do. Apparently, that's very definitely maybe there, isn't it? But according to reports, City are interested in the guy, with the likes of Liverpool, United and Madrid also hunting around this very talented young left-back. Yeah, I suspect his price will be expensive if all these clubs are interested, and if he's as good as everyone says he is, and if he's broken through to the Portugal team. A team that's very good, by the way. He's already got a pretty good left-back in Telles there, of course, as well. So Portugal are a very good side, and if he's getting into that side at the moment, that's impressive, and it will definitely increase his potential transfer value. Obviously, we can't really talk about the idea of a deal of Nuno Mendes without mentioning the Pedro Porro factor, a player that they have on loan from Manchester City, who's currently also broken into the Spanish first team as well, not the first team, into the squad, the senior squad. He's broken into that squad, and he's another fantastic right back on Manchester City's books. So it could be that they use him as some kind of mate weight and decide that they don't want Porro anymore, but they want a left back. So it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds, but I think that interest is very, very real. And finally today, there's been a little bit of Lukas Nmecha news from Football Belgium. I don't really know who they are. No idea personally. But either way, they reported that Nmecha is unlikely to stay at Anderlecht next season simply because they cannot afford to pay for him, which doesn't really surprise me either. And he will likely return to Manchester City. Not permanently, I would guess. And Nmecha is 22 now, I think. Let me just check his stats once again. I know he's done pretty well over there. But in general, I can't really see him staying at Manchester City either, Nmecha, unfortunately. As good as a player as he is, I can't really see him having a future. He scored 10 goals in 18 games over there, according to Wikipedia. I don't know if it's more than that. I'm not sure if Wikipedia is particularly accurate. I'll check on Transfer Market as well. But one thing I do know is that he's got a relatively decent rep. And he says 16 in 32, so obviously miles off on Wikipedia there. I apologise for that. 16 in 32 games, so 1 in 2 games for them. I know he scored an awful lot of penalties, so I know that kind of comes into it a little bit, but you got to score him, and we're not very good at that, so fair play to him. Nmecha's a good footballer. He's 22, 23 in December. I wouldn't be surprised if now is the time with Manchester City try and get a little bit of money out of Nmecha. It could be, maybe we dangle him in front of Dortmund. I don't know if they'll want him personally, because they've got Mikuku as well coming through, a wonder kid there potentially. But either way, I think it's fair to say there will be some interest in a man who scores for Anderlecht, who are a decent club, and also a guy who keeps scoring for Germany's under-21s as well. He's got loads of goals for them. So I do think Nmecha, as good as he is, I can't really see a Manchester City career for Nmecha, but Lukas Nmecha is a very good player, but I would not be surprised if he leaves the club this summer. Likewise, probably his brother as well, by the way. Felix Nmecha, I think his contract might be running out, so I wouldn't be surprised if both move on in the summer. Good player, though, and he'll have a good career. Probably just not a Manchester City level career, I reckon. I like Lukas, though, and good luck to him. Guys, that's your daily dose of Manchester City transfer news. Of course, you should go watch the long video I did yesterday with Asan from the 9320 podcast, where we chatted all about the transfers in a big 45 to 50-minute video in loads more depth than today. But I will keep you up to date with all the transfer news, of course, so make sure to hit the subscribe button if you like these short, digestible takes of Manchester City news. And of course, tomorrow, the good stuff's back. Football is actually back. Well, it's not back tomorrow, but the previews are back as Manchester City head to Leicester at the weekend. So subscribe and you'll catch that video tomorrow. For now, though, like and all that kind of stuff. Big thank you to all the patrons and my Patreon producer, Ahmed Al-Ali. You're all absolute heroes. If you want to help us a little bit more, patreon.com/Esteemed Kompany. For now, though, in a bit.